Sharpe is known for his unfiltered opinions, his charisma, and his catchphrases. But behind the public persona, the lawsuit paints a very different picture. One of a man who allegedly uses his fame, wealth, and physical intimidation to control women decades younger than himself. On April 20th, 2025, a lawsuit was filed in Nevada State Court that sent shockwaves through the sports media world. A woman, initially identified only as Jane Doe, filed a $50 million civil lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe, alleging sexual assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit's opening line sets the tone. A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no even once, that no means no. According to the complaint, the plaintiff was just 19 years old when she met then 54-year-old Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym in 2023. The lawsuit describes how Sharpe allegedly pursued her relentlessly until she agreed to meet him outside the gym. The complaint claims he initially demanded she sign an NDA, which she refused. What followed, according to the lawsuit, was a rocky consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The plaintiff alleges that over time, Sharpe became increasingly controlling, manipulative, and eventually violent. She claims he recorded their sexual activities without consent, shared these recordings with friends, and eventually sexually assaulted her on 3 separate occasions, twice in October 2024 and once in January 2025. The lawsuit claims Sharpe violently sexually assaulted and anally raped plaintiff 2 different times in Las Vegas, blatantly ignoring her requests for him to stop. It further alleges he would repeatedly tell Doe that he wanted to do to her things that would make no other man want her. The complaint also references a September 2024 incident where Sharpe accidentally live-streamed audio of himself having sex with another woman on Instagram, claiming this revealed his infidelity in their allegedly exclusive relationship. The lawsuit seeks $50 million in damages, $10 million in general damages, $10 million in special damages, $20 million in punitive damages, and $10 million in statutory penalties. Let's break down the timeline of how this relationship allegedly unfolded. Early 2023. The plaintiff, then 19, meets Shannon Sharpe, then 54, at a Los Angeles gym. According to the lawsuit, she initially rejects his advances, but eventually agrees to meet him outside the gym after persistent pursuit. 2023 to summer 2024. The lawsuit describes this period as a consensual but deeply unbalanced relationship. The plaintiff claims Sharpe was controlling, manipulative, and dishonest about seeing other women while demanding exclusivity from her. She alleges they would meet up to 4 times a week, always on his schedule and his terms. September 2024. Sharpe accidentally live streams audio of himself having sex with a woman, not the plaintiff, on Instagram to his millions of followers. The plaintiff claims this incident confirmed his infidelity and was a turning point in their relationship. October 2024. According to the lawsuit, Sharpe's behavior worsened dramatically. The plaintiff alleges he became insistent on recording their sexual activities without consent and sharing these recordings with others. She claims he sexually assaulted her twice in Las Vegas during this month. January 2025. The lawsuit alleges a 3rd sexual assault took place, after which the plaintiff says she left Nevada to escape Sharpe. April 20th, 2025. The $50 million lawsuit is filed in Nevada State Court. April 21st, 2025. Sharpe's attorney, Lanny J. Davis, releases a statement categorically denying all allegations and calling the lawsuit a shakedown. April 22, 2025. Sharpe's legal team releases text messages allegedly proving the relationship was consensual. The accuser's attorney releases an audio recording allegedly capturing Sharpe threatening to choke the plaintiff. April 23 to 24, 2025. A second audio recording emerges. Sharpe announces he's temporarily stepping away from ESPN. April 25, 2025. Reports surface about a previous lawsuit filed against Sharpe in 2023 by another woman, Michelle Evans, containing similar allegations from a 2010 incident. And now, before we dive into the explosive text messages at the center of this case, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this situation so far? Is Shannon Sharpe being unfairly targeted? Or is this a case of power and fame enabling abusive behavior? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you're finding this investigation valuable, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We cover breaking news and in-depth investigations like this one every week, and your support helps us continue to bring you this content. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our exclusive follow-up on this story, with breaking developments coming tomorrow. Now, let's examine one of the most controversial pieces of evidence in this case, the explicit text messages Shannon Sharpe's team has released to the public. One of the most controversial elements of this case has been the release of explicit text messages by Shannon Sharpe's legal team. They claim these messages prove the relationship was consensual and sexual in nature. Let's look at some of the key messages they released, organized chronologically. March 5th, 2023. The accuser allegedly sends a picture of a woman tied up and writes, "Tie me up like this and key me." Sharpe responds, "If I knew how to, I would." She replies, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." March 14th, 2023. The accuser allegedly writes, "I want to be abused, Daddy." April 21st, 2023. She allegedly texts, "I'm getting your name tattooed on me in like an hour, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know." Sharpe responds, "In the font of my cognac." She replies, "Yes, Daddy, on my neck. If I get it, can I maybe be your baby mama?" October 9th, 2023. She allegedly asks Sharpe to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it during intimate activities. November 23rd, 2023. The accuser allegedly writes about wanting Sharpe to put that baby gravy in me and says, "I literally ate so much food, I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby." Sharpe responds about her potentially removing her IUD around his birthday in 2024. January 12th, 2024. She allegedly sends another extremely explicit message about intimate acts and marriage. December 26th, 2024. Messages show the accuser demanding an apology for alleged cheating, with Sharpe responding, "I've already apologized. Stop playing childish games." January 1st, 2025. In response to Sharpe offering $50,000, she allegedly responds with a photo and the message, "I know you miss this big juicy A. $25K for each cheek." Sharpe's legal team argues these messages show a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios. However, the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, countered that all these messages were from before the alleged assaults took place, stating, "Every text that Mr. Sharpe's counsel released today, purportedly from Jane Doe, are dated prior to the alleged brutal assault." The question becomes, do explicit text messages from before the alleged assaults prove anything about whether consent was given during the specific incidents described in the lawsuit. Legal experts have pointed out that consent can be withdrawn at any time, and previous sexual behavior does not indicate consent for future encounters. If the text messages represent Sharpe's best evidence, the audio recordings may be his biggest problem. 2 separate recordings have been released by the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby. In the first recording, released on April 22nd, a voice alleged to be Sharpe can be heard telling the plaintiff, "If you say that word one more time, I'm gonna king choke the out of you when I see you." When the woman responds that she doesn't want to be choked, the voice says, "I don't think you have a choice in the matter." The second recording, released the following day, captures what appears to be a discussion about Sharpe's trip to Los Angeles. When the woman expresses reluctance about going out, the voice alleged to be Sharpe says, "I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman." When she responds, "That's not a good look, Shannon."
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
He replies, "It's not a good look that you did the set you did to me." Sharpe's team has attempted to contextualize these recordings, claiming they were part of the consensual nature of their relationship that included role-playing and fantasy scenarios. They argue these clips are tiny excerpts taken out of context and do not accurately represent the relationship. However, legal experts have noted that threats of violence, particularly when combined with the significant power imbalance described in the lawsuit, could be viewed as evidence of coercion rather than consensual role-playing. Adding another layer of intrigue to this already complex situation are reports of NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal allegedly offering money for damaging information about Shannon Sharpe. According to reports from DJ Academics, former NBA player Matt Barnes claimed that O'Neal was allegedly paying top dollar for any negative information about Sharpe. This claim appears to stem from a past public feud between O'Neal and Sharpe, primarily revolving around NBA MVP debates in May 2024. Their heated online exchanges even included a diss track from O'Neal directed at Sharpe. Some have speculated this personal animosity might have motivated O'Neal to seek information that could damage Sharpe's reputation and career. However, it's important to note that these claims remain unverified. O'Neal himself has not publicly commented on these specific allegations. Adding to the confusion, some pointed to a clip where O'Neal jokingly claimed on Instagram that he was paying for information on other sports personalities like Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson, suggesting his comments about seeking dirt on colleagues might be part of his typical humor rather than serious threats. Whether there's any connection between this alleged bounty and the current lawsuit remains purely speculative. However, it highlights the complex web of relationships, rivalries, and potential motivations surrounding high-profile figures in sports media. This case may be just the visible tip of a much larger iceberg of industry politics and personal vendettas. Shannon Sharpe has vehemently denied all allegations against him. On April 21st, his attorney Lanny J. Davis released a statement calling the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. The statement claimed the case was filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations. On April 22nd, Sharpe himself released a video statement in which he called the situation a shakedown, orchestrated by Tony Busby, who he accused of targeting black men. In the video, Sharpe claimed there exists a sex tape that the plaintiff had recorded secretly and edited to make a consensual encounter appear non-consensual. He challenged Busby to release the full, unedited video. Perhaps most significantly, Davis revealed that Sharpe had previously offered the plaintiff at least $10 million to settle the claims before the lawsuit was filed. This admission raised eyebrows, with some questioning why Sharpe would offer such a substantial settlement if the claims were entirely fabricated. On April 24th, Sharpe announced he would temporarily step aside from his ESPN duties. In his statement, he maintained that the relationship in question was 100% consensual and said he would be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. He indicated plans to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason in late July. Through his legal team, Sharpe has also threatened to file a defamation lawsuit against both the plaintiff and her attorney. Complicating matters for Shannon Sharpe is the emergence of a previous lawsuit filed against him with similar allegations. In 2023, a woman named Michelle Evans filed a defamation lawsuit against Sharpe in New York. While that lawsuit primarily focuses on defamation claims, it contains allegations that Sharpe sexually assaulted Evans in 2010. According to the complaint, Evans claims she had been in a relationship with Sharpe that ended in 2010 after an argument over his alleged infidelity. She alleges that when she refused his sexual advances, Sharpe forcefully subdued her and engaged in non-consensual sexual activity. The current lawsuit against Sharpe references this previous case, stating, "Sharpe has a documented history of abusing and mistreating women." It claims that many of the factual allegations in the New York case are eerily similar to his actions toward plaintiff here. Sharpe's legal team has dismissed Evans' claims as ridiculous and completely without merit. In a statement, his attorney Mitchell Schuster said, "When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit." The Evans lawsuit remains ongoing, with proceedings still active in New York. The allegations have already had a significant impact on Shannon Sharpe's career. On April 24th, ESPN released a statement agreeing with Sharpe's decision to step away temporarily, calling it a serious situation. While Sharpe's legal team has emphasized that he was not fired and chose to step away on his own, industry insiders suggest ESPN was uncomfortable having him on air while these allegations were being investigated. His regular Monday and Tuesday appearances on First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith have been put on hold. Beyond ESPN, reports suggest Sharpe's planned $100 million deal with the Volume Podcast Network may now be in jeopardy. The timing of the lawsuit, coming just as this major deal was allegedly being finalized, has raised questions from both sides. Sharpe's team suggesting the timing indicates a shakedown attempt, while the plaintiff's supporters argue the pending windfall may have given her the courage to come forward. The case also raises questions about how media companies handle allegations against their talent. ESPN has faced criticism in the past for its handling of misconduct allegations, and their approach to Sharpe will be closely watched as the case unfolds. For Sharpe himself, regardless of the legal outcome, the public airing of explicit text messages and threatening audio could permanently damage his brand and marketability. At 56, having built a successful second career in media, these allegations threaten to undo decades of reputation building. The Shannon Sharpe case represents a complex intersection of celebrity, power, age dynamics, race, and the evolving understanding of consent in relationships. Two drastically different narratives have emerged. On one side, a young woman alleges that a powerful, wealthy, famous man, more than 3 decades her senior, used his position to manipulate and eventually sexually assault her. On the other hand, Shannon Sharpe claims he's the victim of an extortion attempt orchestrated by an attorney with a history of targeting high-profile figures, with text messages allegedly showing the relationship was consensual. As this case moves through the legal system, several questions remain unanswered. Will the alleged video mentioned by both parties be released or played in court? Will other women come forward with similar allegations? How will ESPN handle Sharpe's return, which he's planned for the NFL preseason? What makes this case particularly challenging is that both sides seemingly have evidence supporting their claims. Explicit text messages suggesting consent on Sharpe's side, and disturbing audio recordings and previous allegations suggesting a pattern of behavior on the accuser's side. Before we end today's investigation, we have breaking news to share. Just hours ago, new information has surfaced that could dramatically shift the direction of this case. Make sure to follow our channel for our exclusive follow-up report coming tomorrow with the very latest developments in the Shannon Sharpe investigation. Until then, remember that in cases like these, the court of public opinion often moves faster than the actual legal system. The real story will continue to unfold in the weeks and months ahead. This has been the Shannon Sharpe investigation. I'm your host, signing off.